Hello, this is Elizabeth Clare Brewington with Discover Brightside. We are at the Brightside Book Club tonight, and I'm so excited to have a very celebrated author, and he's a wonderful storyteller. So, if you are at the book club or you're watching this in our Facebook VIP groups or Instagram or wherever you find this video, write us a comment and get the book. So without any further ado, let me introduce you to the author and to the book, and then we'll do a quick interview. So Clifton Brown is an author who draws deeply from his experiences in the US Navy, weaving them into dark, evocative stories that explore the boundaries between light and shadow. With 10 published short stories and a debut novel, Clifton has found writing to be a powerful way to navigate his past, honoring his service while exploring the great things of storytelling. His fiction often deals with his struggle of hope and darkness, guiding characters through love, loss in an unpredictable way. And today we're very excited to do the first book. We will have Clifton with us for 3 to 4 months. And so we're very excited to do the first one, which is Beyond the Nile, Gods and Legends from the Heart of Africa. So Clifton, thank you so much for coming to the book club and to do this interview with me. Tell me a little bit about yourself and this journey that you've been on.
Well, you already have my name. I was born in Houston, and grew up in Third Ward, one of the different parts of the city. And what? Okay, I just died right there. I just lost my train of thought. But no, actually, when I left Houston, I went to college for 2 years at Lon Morris. Decided that wasn't my shtick, and worked in a couple of different places, including the Astra Hall, Astrodome. Got to meet some really cool people because I worked in the skyboxes as a runner initially, and then the liquor department manager. So I got to meet Stevie Wonder, the Daz Band. I got to meet Steve. Well, I just said Stevie Wonder, didn't I? The
That's
Daz
okay.
Band,
Yeah.
and a few other performers, including Journey. That was an interesting, definitely part of my time, part of my life. After I did that, I joined the Navy for 8 years, and those 8 years were daunting. There were a lot of things that happened during that time. And then once I got out of the Navy, I actually went back home to help my mother take care of my father, who had advanced Parkinson's. So once he passed, I started working as a retail manager for Best Buy. I worked for as a retail manager in different organizations for 12 years. But for Best Buy, I did open the Arizona and California markets. And then after a while, I decided that retail management was not the thing for me because I'm not a big politics guy. And that's basically what it was. So I started driving a truck. And but and here's the thing, I have a cool story. There was a time I was on assignment in Atchison, Kansas, and I was me and one of my best friends in the world. He's like my brother from another mother, and we were waiting for trailers in Atchison, Kansas, of trailers of flour, and we would take the trailers into a mill that separated the gluten from the flour, while other drivers ferried the full trailers down and the empty trailers back. Well, this one guy, I was talking to him while I was waiting for my friend to finish offloading his trailer so I could start the next one. And he was asking me if I heard all of these things that were going on the CB. And I told him I don't have a CB. I mean, there's too much junk that goes on there. I just don't want to listen to it. And he says to me, "You don't have a CB and you call yourself a truck driver?" And I said, "No, I don't. I'm a guy who drives a truck for a living. I'm not a truck driver." And you should have seen the look on his face. It was priceless. So the way I separate it is that being a truck driver is a way of life. I don't subscribe to that way of life. For me, it's just a job. So I drive a truck to support my family. That's what I do. So I am not a truck driver, but I do drive a truck for a living.
Well, we have a lot of truck drivers listening into our podcast. So if you're a truck driver, write us a comment or share with us your story. And maybe that's why you're such a good storyteller, because while you're driving, you're thinking about all your books and your
Oh yeah.
thoughts. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do a lot of character development during my
Mhm.
uh during the time I'm driving a truck. I develop my plot, I develop my characters. My characters actually talk back and slap me around and ask me why I did those made those situations in the book, and I end up changing it. So I know
So
that
I know you're
sounds
going to give
schizophrenic, right?
So I know you're going to give us a talk, but I want to keep the interview a little separate from the talk, without giving away too much of the book, because we want you to get the book. So I wanted to ask you, why Africa? What were you doing? I know you said you were tracing your roots and you were trying to find yourself, and so tell us a little bit about this journey with Africa and you.
I I guess I got tired of watching everybody else's mythologies on TV. And growing up, I mean, I knew nothing about the African mythos. None of my elders said anything. Nobody else, my parents, nobody. You definitely weren't going to get it in school, but I definitely read about the Greek gods in school. Of course, we had to read the Iliad and the Odyssey. But so, and I mean, it took me a while to figure this out, but finally figured out in my 60s that, you know, my ancestors had a history, and I start digging into that history, and I found such a rich, vibrant culture that nobody ever hears about. You don't see it on TV. I mean, the closest thing we have is Black Panther, and that's it, and that deals with Afrofuturism.
That's true. And even the movies
Yeah,
they've made are either horror
yeah.
movies or, nothing
Well,
fantastic. Yeah, I'm
some
with
of them are
you.
coming out, like the
The
Warrior
Woman
Queen,
King
African.
was very good with Viola Davis.
Yep, yep,
That
and
was
I
that was pretty good, I
uh
thought.
huh.
Yeah.
Yep. And I believe that's based on an actual figure. Her name is Nzinga Mbande.
Mm, mm,
And she developed such a big cadre of allies that she literally pushed Portugal out. She kept Portugal from colonizing the central region in Africa,
mm.
and she was at the forefront of her armies in her 60s.
Wow.
And she didn't die in battle. She died peacefully at the ripe old age of 83. And this is back in the 1600s.
Mm.
She was incredible. And I'm like, why have we never heard of stuff like this?
Yeah, yeah.
You
Why
know,
have we? Yeah.
I mean, we have a warrior queen that kicked Portugal's butt, and we hear nothing.
Yeah.
Deadly silence. And so when I started finding things like that, all of that history, all of those stories, and me, like I said, I'm a nerd. I love history, and I also love mythology. Being a writer, it also helps as well. But so I started looking into it, and when I found so much, I was like, good grief, what am I need to tell people about this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the book that I wrote, Beyond the Nile, is not an in-depth study, but it is a primer. It gives you some places to go. I even have references in the back of the book to where you could go start looking for information if you wanted to on your own.
Mm.
And I checked most of those links, and as of January, they all still worked. So just to
Wow.
give you that heads up.
Wow, wow, that's like a little cheat sheet thing. That's cute.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. I do a little bit of travel. This will be good for us to do like a little, giveaway, a VIP gift. Yeah. That is a good list. Yeah. So yeah, and then I don't want to talk about the book because we're talking about it, in a few minutes with the club, but I want to
Right.
talk more about this journey. So most of the research, did you go to Africa or did you just do your own research, on the internet?
Nope, I just did my research on the internet.
Not bad, not bad. That is good. I have an author that wrote a book about Shakespeare being a woman, and Not a
Ah,
Man. And she did her research too, and it was very detailed and very good. So that is good. And this little journey, you can go to all the different places and visit them. Uh, it is quite amazing because the book is so descriptive and so fun, and it's an easy read. And how long did it take for you to write the book?
it once I got all the information, it just basically flowed. I pretty much wrote it within a month.
Mm, wow. So, so if you were to just tell people why they should buy this book or why they should read this book, or why, I think this would be a perfect book for a book club as well, because then everybody gets to read the book in advance, and then they can comment on the book. So tell me in a short summary, why do you think someone should get this book?
Well, I mean, there are other books out there that talk about African mythos, but the ones that I've read, they're kind of dry and they're kind of, I'm just putting this information out here so you can see it. I took a more lyrical path. I wanted to tell a story instead of just offering rote information. So that's why you should buy it, because it's not just, here's A, here's B, here's C. It's more like, this is what's going on, this is why it's going on, this is the reason that it's important, and it will wrap you up in the culture and the reason that people feel the way they do about this mythos. So I tried to make it more of a story, telling a story, because the primary storytellers in most of the African cultures are called griots. It's spelled Griot, but pronounced griot. I made the mistake of calling it a griot, and then when I found out
Yeah.
I was wrong, that was embarrassing. But anyway, um, and most of this history has been passed down mouth to mouth for
Mm,
for centuries, millennia. And also, these tales, as similar as they are, they do vary per by the region, which is why I separated the continent into those different regions: the West African, Central African, and Southern African. So um, by doing that, you get to see not only that there is a difference between the three mythos that are there, but you also get to see the similarities, how they always center around a particular theme. I won't tell you that theme yet, though,
yeah, we
because
don't
we'll
want to
talk about that
give away the
later.
thunder. All right, so I'm with the author Clifton Brown. Thank you for your service with the U.S. Navy, and we are talking about his book Beyond the Nile: Gods and Legends from the Heart of Africa. It is really a fascinating book, and it's very, very easy to read. It's fun to read all these characters, and I hope it becomes a movie. We had that Black Panther, and then we had Woman King, which is my favorite movie of all times. Um, and I think this has really, those lovely African characters, and it's a really fun book to read. So we highly encourage it. It will be on our Brightside Club list all of the month of May. So all of you who are taking time off, and Mother's Day is coming, and this is a great Mother's Day book for if your mother is a reader. And so we will highly, highly encourage you to get the book. So you're watching Discover Brightside, and you guys are such pros. Just hit the subscribe button and share the video, and that's what we want you to do. Thank you for watching. I am with author Clifton Brown.